Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelava, and this is Let's Play Greece in Victoria 2, number 15. We left off 2 episodes into our war against the Western powers. We managed to end our war against Spain, taking for one Al Rif, and also cleaning up all the borders in this portion of Africa. At this point, the only reason we're still in the war is because we added some colonial war goals, and we just, quite frankly, haven't gotten to conquering them yet. We just added them because we just got more jingoism. So at this point, we're just going to keep occupying France. Eventually, we're going to try to occupy London. And we really have 2 major objectives at this point. One is to just get to enough war score that we can win, which we're basically almost already at, and all the battles have basically, well, they're all basically over now. It looks like the Germans just offered us peace. I'm not sure if they offered us peace giving us everything we wanted. No, they did not. So we're just not going to make peace for less than everything that we want. So we're just not going to make peace. So that all being said, we don't have to really man the border with Spain anymore. We're doomed to 6 months of liberal government since we held 2 elections immediately. So we'll just hold a 3rd election, and then we can just switch back to fascists being our ruling party at the end of that. We could let the Italians fall to anarcho-liberals. We may just do that. Honestly, we're just not going to intervene unless it's something like democracy, because democracies can actually pass reforms in like a theoretical sense and just kind of in Victoria too. So yeah, we'll just kind of keep moving forward. At this point, it might make sense to stop garrisoning all of these border provinces. That would let some hostile forces seep through. But honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter all that much, and we'll more or less cut them off anyway. So we'll go start hurtling around, taking everything that we can, and just hoping for the best. At this point, I'm not sure if I said it all the way, but our goal is mainly just to have all of the European powers descend into rebellions and get weird, ineffective governments, which will hopefully just set them up to a continual stream of revolutions that will keep their state just ultimately kind of impotent for the rest of at least a pretty good amount of time. It looks like there are all sorts of nationalists, Indian pan-nationalists, all sorts of weird things going on in India right now. We're basically done worrying about India other than that British force coming out of there. And, yeah. We will need to end this war quickly enough so that we can go to war with the British one more time before the end of the game. So we might just have to accept the next peace deal we're offered, which means that we might just have to accept that all these countries of the world aren't going to get fancy, weird governments. At any rate, I'm pretty sure the French are going to collapse at the end of this one, since they don't have any armies whatsoever in their mainland. Although that does remain to be seen. They could pull together in some weird sort of way. Really, though, we should be making peace in the next few moments. We can probably do so fairly easily. We may just wait until our war against Austro-Hungary is justified, and then we'll just hurtle our forces over from one war to the next. Are the Austrians allied to anybody significant? No, literally nobody at all. Alright, so we'll just hurtle on into them after this is done. And then once this is done, yeah, well, that's really it. We'll just do that. We'll just attack them. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like we're killing this rebellion in Paris. It's French communists. We don't really want them to be communists because they can maintain an effective government for at least a portion of time. We want to get a weird sort of government like an anarcho-liberal dictatorship, which, you know, weird, right? So that would be cool. No real use just banking on that happening, though. What are the other weird ones? I guess a presidential dictatorship, but they are currently a constitutional monarchy, so they're not eligible for that. So yeah, really just anarcho-liberals are the people we want to have rise up in all of these foreign countries. So we've gone ahead and occupied Paris. That is really all we need to do there. The British are blockading the Channel, which of course makes all the sense in the world, really. And I'll just keep cutting on through. We are occupying Germany itself. They have 61 brigades, which really isn't that many. for a country that had 900 at the start of this war, over 2 hours and maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not actually sure what year it was when this started. Maybe 1927, in which case this has been very rapid. And the kill-death ratio has just been outrageously favorable to us, I assume. I haven't actually checked yet. I actually just started this one immediately after the last, which means I also don't think I saved it. So, yeah, my bad, guys. We will... Oh, well, for one, I'll have to remember that it ended in 1929, the last episode. And we'll just throw the final end war stats at the end of the last one, and hopefully nobody will catch on. I'll just release this a day after. And I guess we'll also put it at the end of this one, since this is when the war will have ended. Although, realistically, I don't think we're going to be fighting all that much at this point. We are occupying our enemies. And at this point, we should probably just make peace. We're not going to accept their peace offer, though. We will make our own, just so we know we're not getting, you know, shafted in any way. And there we go. So what do we mainly get out of this? Well, we got a portion of Italy, which basically finishes off all the parts of Italy that we really need or want too terribly to take. I do want to take Telimkin before the end of the, well, the end of the series. And we're not going to be able to take very much more than that. Ideally, we'll also be able to take over Moroccan Al Rif. We did get Gibraltar, and that's pretty cool. We took over this little tiny bit of French Africa, and we took over this little tiny bit of British India. So, yeah. I mean, really, considering all the loss of life, probably not worth it. But, you know, we still managed to defeat all the other powers in the world. And that's pretty cool in its own right. Yeah, let's see, what do we do with all of our armies now? We'll just put them in Germany on the Austrian border. And when our war against Austria is justified in about, you know, a month or two, we'll just rush the border with these with really just the entirety of our military. And that should be interesting. Oh yeah, and we can just march right through Austria. We could even, well, I don't think we can actually declare war with our forces in their country. That would just be overwhelmingly ridiculous. At any rate, we'll just kind of man the border pretty well. And we'll just shovel the rest of these armies vaguely over into here. So we'll go to war with Austria, take over those Romanian cores. At some point we need to go to war with Persia in 1933. And against Sokoto in 1931. So once this is done, we'll do that. Probably take over Ukraine, make them a puppet, and then go against Sokoto, and then maybe go against Persia, and then definitely go against the Soviets, and at least take Soviet Turkmenia. So let's go ahead, declare war, liberate country, liberate Romania. 100% war score, that's just going to happen. Alright, so we can't actually justify wars against anyone else of those targets right now, so we'll go after Ukraine immediately, and we'll go to puppet them. And that might get the Italians against us again. If it does, then we'll take Sardinia from them. And that's really all we need. We're not so terribly greedy, I say, even though it's a little bit ridiculous considering where we were in the beginning of this campaign. Yeah, so we'll just keep charging across, move all these dudes in, hurdle across them borders. Alright, they're already going there. I don't really predict that the Austrians will be able to make a coherent defense. So we're just going to rush across and really just storm the border in some sort of massive, ridiculous... what would you even call it? Not even a blitzkrieg, really, since the entire... Well, I mean, yeah, I guess just a massive blitz across the entirety of their nation. Well, at least close to the entirety of it. Alright, so I don't imagine this will be a long-lasting war. We'll keep researching commerce technologies. And who knows, perhaps if things go quickly enough, this will be the last episode of the campaign. Which, honestly, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if it were. We'll see, though. Strange things could happen. Alright, so we've basically just gunned into Austria just with amazing rapidity. If we finish this war quickly enough and justify also quickly enough against the Romanians, then we can probably go to war against the Soviets. And we will just go to war with Sokoto and those other places really just being only Persia. We'll just go to war against them. Yeah, we'll just go to war against them while we're also fighting the Russians, which I imagine we'll be fighting the Russians for quite some time. And we do need a 100% war score, so we are going to have to occupy their country pretty much just entirely down to the bones. But that's not like it'll be difficult. Worst case, the Ukrainians are occupying a portion of their country, and that might slow us down a bit. However, we are justifying against the Ukrainians right now, so even if their occupations prevent us from getting a 100% war score, we'll pretty soon be able to just go occupy the territories that they're occupying. Oh, we are actually under attack by the Austrian military. And it's actually a pretty coherent attack. They outnumber us considerably. Although we have tons of reinforcements we can just pull in at literally any moment. And then we did. They want a white peace. We're not going to give it to them. We've defeated their army in battle. Really did take quite a bit of damage to this force, so we'll just pull it back. Alright, and in a moment they will be entirely occupied. So that was actually a very quick war. You can tell they are just not a top performing power in the world anymore. They are rank 14. Alright, and we're just hurtling on through. What will they accept now? Still white peace, still no. Alright, pretty soon we'll be able to go against Ukraine. Liberal and anarcho-liberals, of course, win. Now we don't really need to add any war goals or anything right now, so we'll just go ahead and switch over to fascists, get that sped up war justification and whatnot. Looks like the Poles are taking their opportunity to take their cores back. We're not really going to interfere with that, since it doesn't make any sense for us to do so. Another peace offer, another white peace offer. Oh, our navy is basically all complete now. So let's just select them across the world. The trick is, as long as you select one boat, then it doesn't prevent you from just selecting all the boats that you possibly can in the world. So let's see. Do you have any boats in weirder places? No, it looks like it's all of it. Alright, so we'll bring our navy together in Istanbul. We'll go ahead and re-declare that a naval rallying point. I guess we'll build a small number of dreadnoughts, a small number of battleships, and a large number of cruisers, and that brings us back up to our naval maintenance maximum. Looks like Polish, Lithuanian pan-nationalists are rising up in Ukraine, and that's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Although it looks like Ukraine actually has a considerable force, and that's very interesting and not very much ideal. They definitely don't have as many troops as we do, though, so we'll just see how well they perform. And we're 80 days away from being able to attack them. Romania will acquire all of their cores. And there we go. That actually looks pretty nice. I'm happy with how that worked out. We will get military access from them, though. Alright, and we even have enough time that we may be able, but probably not, to declare another war against Austria to release Hungary with all their cores, and then maybe even puppet Hungary, but that might be pushing way too far. Alright, so yeah, that's basically good. We'll just keep all of our forces where they're at. Maybe push them even further. And get ready for the Ukrainian war. At which point we probably do have enough time to justify against the Soviets. We only do want Soviet Turkmenia, at least to begin with. We'll try to release Ukraine later. and depending on the amount of war score left over, we might take more, although we might just call it there. Taking over Ukraine, we may, if it doesn't seem like we'll have enough time. Oh, and we really need to pass reform because our people are getting pretty salty about all this. So, alright, congratulations guys, you get to be a little more safe in factories. We should probably open all the factories in these states, and we will subsidize them for now. And yeah, that should all be good to go. Go ahead and just expand these things. Alright, so that all works. And these are the only places that don't have anyone employed. And yeah, so that's all working out really well. We can add Sokoto and Persia to our sphere. Those are both targets of ours, so we're not going to do that. We have until May of next year, so we can definitely fabricate our war goal against the Soviets before any of this really matters. Make puppet against Ukraine. Alright, we're good to go. So, Soviet Turkmenia is going to be the thing. That takes 174 days. So it's actually placing the sun the same as liberating a country, and we definitely need Soviet Turkmenia just to make our borders look nice before the end of the campaign. So, go ahead, declare war, make puppet, go ahead and start that. The Italians might join in, maybe they won't. That remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes. Oh, cool. The Italians did join in, so we'll just turn these armies around. Go smash into the Italians with all that we've got. They really can't do anything about it since we just smashed them in 2 wars in rapid succession. So Italy's about to be 0 for 3. And you'll notice we don't have any vision of them, and we're just hurtling our troops in like it doesn't matter. Yeah. That's just what we're doing. I don't really imagine it'll go poorly for us. If it does, then I'll kind of bite the bullet on that one, but at this point it seems like the most important thing is just to hurdle those troops right on across that border and deal with the consequences as they make themselves apparent. Alright, these forces are all just hurtling through, and we'll set it up so that they can occupy every single province of Ukraine as they storm through it. Alright, and that's pretty good. That'll just roll on through, and this war will basically fight itself. And then once that's done, we'll turn around and attack the Soviets, and then Sokoto, and then Persia, and then that's game. Oh, right, the Italians have a navy. That's been a problem for a long time. But we have a tremendous navy now, so let's go smash into them. And while it would be ideal for us to take Tlemcen and also part of Morocco, it's not super necessary. It would just be very nice. Alright, these forces are just hurtling forward. And, yeah, what are these? Anarcho-liberals, that'd be kind of fun, but honestly I don't really care what government Italy has since they're not really a relevant state anymore. The important thing, though, is that they allow us to get out of the war, which they may refuse to do, just by being obstinate. Which is a legitimate concern. Alright, but if we roll in and take their capital, then that would pretty much bring the war to a rapid close. Looks like some Turkish forces are, or not Turkish, that's thinking way back into the past. Some Ukrainian forces were battling us. They had a considerable amount of numbers on their side, but we are just the world-striding Greeks at this point, so it doesn't matter all that much. Let's go smash into these Italian ships, though, because they're very annoying. And just reckon into our forces, and that's cruel at best. Now, I don't really have any navy tech, so that is probably going to be very detrimental to us. Nevertheless, we have a powerful navy, and we just sank all 6 of their fleet. And I'm not sure where the rest of their forces went. So we'll just roll on over here. Long live Greece. Alright, and it doesn't look like they snuck behind us, so we'll just push forward a little bit more. And we'll put the group with an admiral up there. Looks like they have their navy hidden away in Sardinia, so we would have to occupy the island to get it out, which is actually very clever for the AI. Alright, and we're just kind of shoveling forward. Do we have enough jingoism to add any war goals? We do not by a long shot. However, Ukraine is entirely occupied. Italy is going to be entirely occupied in just a few moments. And when that occurs, we can make peace. Alright, looks like they want peace with us right now. Ukraine becomes a puppet of Greece. Okay. Alright, cool. So that's a little annoying, but it all works out. We were winning some weird battles against rebels somewhere or other. Not quite sure where. Doesn't really matter all that much. Alright, so what are we going to do with our armies? We will... Let's see. We can't really shovel them out there so far. I guess we'll put a lot of them just on the border, just so that we don't have to worry about them too much. All the undermanned groups and whatnot can go there and do their thing. Alright, we'll take these groups down, just double them up on the border with Italy. The remaining forces, I guess, we'll take over here and just put against the Soviet Union. I don't think we'll need that many forces since we still also have all of these in Ukraine, but better to have them and not need them. They won't give us military access. Alright. Ask for an alliance, though. They'll give us that. And they'll give... Oh, and okay. They'll give us military access at some point, though. Looks like they have a whole bunch of rebels. We'll just keep smashing those. What government is theirs? Still communist dictatorship. Not really the best dictatorship. Just an odd statement. But yeah, it's really not. Let's see. We can bring all these forces, put them up here. And that'll give us a decent amount of forces to do really any level of action on that front. All sorts of corps are coming into being. We don't really need very many more, but we will bring... It looks like they have 5 provinces. Speed in that war is not going to be a necessity. But we'll just shovel all of our African forces that are still in Africa up to there. Colonial setback, that's annoying, but nothing too crazy. Alright, and these forces will just move up and they'll take Terminia proper. Oh, Poland managed to do something. I guess they added a war goal. Oh, they're cutting Austro-Hungary down to size, although honestly it's not like that's really just insult to injury at that point. Alright, yeah. Based on population, no one's so upset that we really need to worry about that. Alright. All things considered, this is going pretty well. Oh, we can take this Persian army and move it up as well. And that'll be more than enough forces. I don't imagine the Soviets have any troops at all. They have 81 brigades. They don't have any allies, but they do have a truce. So yeah, that's going to be almost nothing compared to our military. We should at this point still be making more brigades for when we give up the game to the AI. I'm not going to do that though. Let's see, how much time until we can attack Sokoto? January, February, March, April, May, 90 days. Let's go ahead and justify acquiring a state against Morocco. That takes a little bit longer than that, but it shouldn't be too worrisome. And then we'll get this done in 1932, this done in 1933. And then we could even go to war against Austro-Hungary again, provided they have a rebellion that overthrows their government, which they almost certainly will. We will go ahead and hold an election, just to get some more jingoism. We'll go ahead and declare war, place in the sun. Soviet Turkmenia, only 5 war scores, so that's obviously going to happen. And we'll just, once again, blitz just heavily into their country. I think we have troops going, okay, not over the way to there. And we actually need to split these two groups like, oops, like so. And that puts one group out of position a little. So I'll bring them over to Stavropol. Move these guys all up. Oh, weird. I guess since there are people rebelling. Alright, these troops all move on. And I guess if there's any country to blitz, it's the Soviet Union. Although I suppose we're an odd country to be doing it. Alright. And we do have some armored units, not, you know, so many, but a decent number. Once we defeat those rebels, push the rest of these groups up. Alright, and that should be good. Just hurtling into the Soviet Union, they will not know what hit them whatsoever. And, you know, then we'll find out that it's just, we'll kick down the door and the whole rotting edifice will come crumbling down. Now, in this case, that might actually be true. They have some small numbers of units, really not enough to concern us. And we're just going to hurtle in. I don't imagine they have any army techs at all compared to us. And we have the numbers. So any sort of traditional Russian advantage is just not there. Occupations are being completed in just a matter of moments. Alright. And we'll just rush over and block off any access into southern Ukraine. Alright, so that's going very well. Ton of infamy from our Moroccan little adventure, which hasn't even happened yet, but we'll get there. Alright, tons of battles, winning them all so far as I can tell. We'll go cut off that one troop. Absolutely obliterated those Soviet forces. It's like Hearts of Iron 3, only a lot less tedious. Although still kind of tedious. Alright, and immediately they're willing to give us our war goal. Our official war goal at any rate. We're going to try to take more. Alright, these units will just kind of gun forward. We should send some force to just hold that up, but we don't really have enough. So we'll actually keep these forces where they're at for the moment. Actually, no, we'll just send them north. And these units will come around. Alright. So, yeah. Soviet Union, totally a paper tiger. We are attacking them in summer. That doesn't really matter too much in Victoria 2. Which is weird, because you would think, I guess if they make Victoria like 4 or 5, hopefully it'll include things like trying to get supplies to soldiers and really getting supplies to places in the world in general. And just make that part of the difficulty of it. Who knows, maybe in 100 years we'll have video games like that. Maybe that's just me being pessimistic. Alright, rallying all these troops up. And yeah, just tons of occupations, all successful. We might end up just toppling the Soviet regime. That's not really an objective, but it'll probably come to pass if we just keep winning. Where's this battle that's not going too well? It's in the woods over here. We'll just keep attacking them. Just all over the place. And that battle will probably just end up being won. Let's go for more interventionism. Alright, charge these dudes all forward. I've never once thrown armies around this just carelessly in Victoria 2. It's very weird. I mean, it's cool, it's working out great, we overwhelm everyone so much. Oh, it looks like they have a large army that snuck behind the lines. We'll just go destroy that. Alright, we can probably just stop advancing at this point. We maybe shouldn't, but we probably could. We'll just keep advancing. What's the war score at? 70%. Okay, so yeah, we're doing well, to say the least. We don't really ever have to make peace with them. Although they are trying. Alright, so we'll probably just kick them out of the Baltic states. Not as in like that will be our war demand. Or anything quite like that. But we will just kick them out physically. Occupy them up, not maybe to the Urals, but definitely to Moscow and all that. And just sit, you know, well, we'll just sit. We'll just sit on top of them for a while. And eventually, we'll get jingoism. And when that happens, we'll go ask for more. Alright, and those forces all just move up. World anti-slavery stuff. Oh, it's probably about women's suffrage, and it is. We'll let people become more liberal. Let's see, we should probably pass a reform because everyone's getting a little salty. 10-hour workdays. Go destroy those Soviet armies, intervening immediately in various bits of civil unrest. Alright, how's that for enlightened despotism? We are just doing it well. Alright, so yeah, that's really as far as we absolutely need to push things forward. I guess we'll still keep moving a bit. Although at this point the game will go quicker if we stop. Who are we justifying against? Are we justifying against anyone right now? Morocco, that's right. Go smash this Soviet army again. And this time we'll just cut them off entirely. Oh, looks like we are actually losing a battle. Long live Greece. And while we're at it, we will just keep pushing up a little bit. There's no reason not to. I mean, literally no reason. Like, we can't even cite opposition or any sort of difficulties strategically. Keep upgrading our commerce. 2,000 industrial score. And whatever happens, in the very worst case, we'll go ahead and get our stated war goal. Looks like there are quite a few Soviet groups coming at us. Patriots, we're going to fight for our country. That is good. Let's see. We'll pull all of these troops over and just smash into the Soviet army. These troops can come as well. This group will stay back. That will take a while to get there while they're on their way. We'll just move up a little bit against the Soviet Union generally. Alright, so, add war goal. Liberate country. What will it cost to liberate Ukraine? 58 war score. That's doable. Alright, so if we liberate Ukraine, we could be able to take Ekaterinodar, or we could release Budjak to the Romanians. So we might release Budjak, otherwise there'll be some weird Soviet exclave for the rest of time. And that would kind of suck. Looks like the Soviets are actually putting up a pretty decent defense. Way in the back of their country. You know, in fact, there's no reason for us to make that the hill we die on, so we'll just stop. What's our war score at? 100%. So, Yeah, I guess we'll consider the cost of Ekaterendia. See if we can even take it. We'll go help the Romanians, just smash down on their people a little bit. Okay, so let's see. We can't send another diplomat for a few more days. Let our people... Oh, Jacobins. Jacobins. I love saying that, but it's always probably wrong. Alright, so, proposed peace, 64% war score. How jingoistic are our people still? 10%. We could add a couple more. Ekaterinodar. So let's see, 64, that gives us a good 36 left. So let's see, acquire state. Now borders will look kind of gross if we do this. It only costs 16 though. Let's see, liberating country, liberating Romania also costs 16. Alright, that's doable. If instead we were to take over North Caucasia as well. Let's see, where would that be? That's also 16. So we'll probably just take over these two states as well as freeing Ukraine, and if Crimea counts, then that'll give us enough of access that it'll show our name across all of this. I'm not really sure if that's how that'll work, but we'll go ahead and try. And worst case, we'll have to fight another war with them, but they'll probably have a revolution, and that should allow us to do so without breaking truce, technically. Which means that we'll just be able to justify war. I don't really mind the 100 prestige loss. Mission to Morocco is being kind of slow, but that's alright, since we don't really want to pay too much attention to it. We will go ahead and just build a ton of steam transport ships, just so we can overwhelm Morocco as quickly as possible. Let's see, we're at 81. Acquire state. North Caucasia. Alright, and that'll be it. We'll make peace with them after this. Pull back our forces to the border of Persia. That will be good. These troops we will bring onto our new border provinces. And we'll just double them up. Oh, alright, we're already sending those guys back. Alright. Pretty sure these will all be Ukrainian provinces up to here. And we'll double stack them everywhere. And that's just the strength of our army that we still have a few forces left over. So we'll send them onto the border with Austria, which will probably be the next war anyway, in Europe at least. Or maybe not, who knows. Oh, right, we do have a rebel. Just go destroy that. Liberals won, congrats liberals. And then on the 6th we'll make peace. On the 7th we'll make peace. Alright, looks like we will need to go after Rostov. Can create a state in Transjordan, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so we do need to go to war with them one more time. We'll justify it over the liberation of Budjak for Romania. And then we will take over Rostov ourselves. And that'll unify our name across the world. It might look a little dumb, but that's the price we pay. Now we'll hope for some sort of Soviet revolution. Or I guess counter-revolution. They only have 10 brigades. So who knows how well that'll go. We could puppet Poland. Huh. That might be a thing to do. We'll see how it works time-wise. Oh, Austria-Hungary, so Poland managed to get their things. Alright. Good work, everyone. Move this army back into our own territory. Looks like British China is occupied by anarcho-liberals. Go ahead and tax our rich considerably less. And we will open all of our states and subsidize all of them as well. Alright, so, good times. Boringly, it looks like France is maintaining their government. Italy and Ukraine are fighting Austria. It's a war Austria started, but it's definitely a war that their enemies are ending. Oh, let's check out all the cores we've got, since we have got quite a few. And we will host the 10th Olympic Games. Alright, so the world is starting to recognize that we really should have all these things that we have. So that's very nice. When can we just replace the ruling party? We can do that whenever we feel like. So we'll do that now. And that'll hopefully speed up this whole thing against Morocco. Go ahead and throw a woman out of college. Oh, everyone's kind of upset. Germany declared war on Krakow. Wonder what that's about. Oh, they're just annexing them. Oh, France declared war on Germany. Alright. Guess that's the end of that big anti-Greek alliance. Alright, Krakow's immediately gone. The Moroccan menace. They are very menacing. 12 days. Let's just get one more group of transports. There we go. That's kind of excessive anyway. We'll just pick up this army. Or we'll pick up these dudes. We'll figure it out. More places are becoming our cores. Autosaves happening in the background. Alright, we can go to war against Morocco, which means we can justify conquesting in Sokoto. And what are we taking from them again? We're taking Al Rif. Alright, and that should be a pretty straightforward sort of thing to do. We'll just march on forward. Get in a study circle and things like that. British communists are doing their thing, but not on the home islands, unfortunately. Alright. So, yeah. Good times for the Empire. Go ahead and load some people up onto boats. Load some more people up onto boats. And we'll just sail on over. And we'll probably just rush to their capital. And that should knock them out of the war pretty quickly. This is just an outrageously expensive navy that we've sent over to really just blockade a third world country. Nevertheless. Alright, so yeah, they'll definitely give up pretty quick. Alright. Austro-Hungary made peace with Italy. No borders changed or anything like that, so clearly neither of those two states are in a position to do much fighting. Alright, and there we go. And we're at peace. Pull these troops all back. Alright, so our empire is really coming together. I mean, realistically, I don't know. If we had changed our priorities a little bit, well, things would have gone differently. No matter what, if we had done things differently, things would have gone differently. I won't spend so much time going into hypotheticals. It definitely doesn't look as though we'll be able to go through the next 4 years in the next 15 minutes, though. And who knows, maybe the Soviets will even maintain control of their state, so we won't be able to go after them and really finish the job. I wonder if we could puppet Austro-Hungary. That'd be interesting. They do have a truce with us until 1935. Create a state in Nijd. battling all sorts of Ukrainian rebels, trying to get democracy and stuff. It is unfortunate that we're going to have to just maintain a Ukrainian puppet sort of communist regime. Hopefully they'll just peacefully transcend into a less awful regime. Well, I don't really know the likelihood of that. I know it is possible, though. I've done it from time to time myself in communist campaigns. We'll see how it goes. Getting more cores. What does the ethno-national makeup of our country look like? I wonder. Okay, so it's just patches of Greek, tons of Turkish still, but we are actually making some swift progress. One of the main reasons I want to make this time-lapse, one, is to see how our country actually does, and two, is to see how many people end up Greek at the end. Mission to Sokoto's being slowed down a little. Colonial incident against whom? Against the French. Interesting. They are allied to Sokoto anyway. Okay, let's do it. Let's see. That's only one army. We don't really have very many troops nearby. It's not really the biggest issue, though. I doubt France really has any troops nearby either. Alright, and we'll just send them over. We'll see that the remaining troops go over to this portion of French Africa. Alright, cool. Who are they allied with? Only Sokoto, and they're at war with Germany right now, and it doesn't look like it's going too hot for them. Although it does mean that they're mobilized. Man, if that had happened with the British, then we would have been in an awesome spot. At any rate, we'll go after not West Sahara, because that's not a colony anymore. But we'll probably go after Basse Congo, and then we'll slowly just slide them out of there. Or, yeah, and Timbuktu's already not a colony, and I don't really mind if they're just in that portion. Although it would be nice to kick them out of right there. It'd probably cost too much, but we'll see, we'll see. Everything in time will become apparent. We don't really need to worry too much about their armies and things. This has 10 carry weight, so we'll just send it up here. Luck up one of these groups, and that'll finish off our armies against the French. We'll just bring them into Africa and then declare war as soon as we're in position, which is basically any moment from now. Help feed some local poor people. Alright, and then we're basically ready to do this. Declare war. Where are we going to take? We're going to take Basse Congo. What? Is that a state? Wow, huh. Weird. All of this portion of Africa is a state to the French. So I guess we'll go after the Yoruba states. Alright, is Sokoto going to join? They did not. Sokoto does not care at all about their French allies. Understandably, but still terribly rude. And I mean, we're just going to declare war on them fairly soon anyway, so they could have gone out with a blaze of dignity, but suppose not. Alright, some French forces do exist. We'll deal with them whenever we need to. We'll go roll up here and just blockade the French ports, at least on this side. Oops, let's see. Send this group over there, send that group there, and then we'll create a fourth group. I'll actually put them on Gibraltar. We'll put them slightly before Gibraltar. Alright, occupations and things. We'll just roll across French Africa. Get some prestige for some stuff. Just women wanting rights and things. Did we turn off notifications for when a siege completes? It really seems like it. No, we've just been clicking them rapidly. Alright, probably shouldn't do that so much. But I guess it really doesn't matter. I'll just go ram into that French army. Although we may just want to let them move a little first. We'll just ram through them and bring a few armies to bear. Alright. So yeah, this is going very well. wonder if we're jingoistic enough to add a war goal. We are most decidedly not, so let's hold an election. People are pretty upset, so let's give them lower work days, or less work hours per day. Alright, and things are working out well. We did destroy that French army, or at least we defeated them in battle. They're going to Gael, but we'll follow them. Alright, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were willing to make peace with us fairly soon. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Send some of those resources to our neighbors. How long is left in our war justification? 13 days, so we'll send some forces back. Or we'll just keep these dudes back. Alright, and that's good. Let's see. These guys will go down. What's our war score at, I wonder? 4%. Cool. Alright, at least France is getting just wrecked. The Soviets are creating a military again, so they're probably not going to collapse, which kind of sucks. We can't justify against Persia yet. We actually have like over a year before we would be able to. We can't justify against Austro-Hungary since their government hasn't collapsed. No one's government has collapsed. How terribly rude. Oh, we have to decrease the relations that the Poles have with us, but we can try to puppet them afterwards. And then we'll roll in and try to just overthrow the Germans. We don't even need to declare war against Dakota all that rapidly. Alright, so after that we'll be able to go ahead and attack Poland. It looks like they're a fascist kingdom with a fascist party in charge, much like us. Go ahead and declare this war. Oh no, is France going to join? Alright, and there we go. That'll be good enough. Go ahead and piss off the liberals a bit. Probably shouldn't have done that. Alright, justify war. We can't actually make them a puppet. Alright, that's annoying. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Who could we release from them? I guess Austro-Hungary, but I don't want to do that. That does suck. That is annoying. I guess we could humiliate them, we could cut them down to size, we can do a whole bunch of rude things that don't actually change anything. We could release Belarus. Oh, I don't particularly want to do that. We could do that. I don't know why we can't puppet them. Do they just have too many people? What's the deal with that? Let's check the ledger. That usually explains these sorts of things. I forget where the ledger is. There it is. The new mic I have is kind of tall and it blocked that part of the screen. Let's see. Poland. Oh, apparently we're the second most populous state in the world behind Great Britain, but they occupy almost all of India and a giant portion of China. And then it's us, and then the USA, and then China, what's left of it. And then another part of China, and then Germany, then the Soviets, then the French, yada yada yada. All the way down to Poland with 8 million people. Or 8 million pops. So I guess, yeah, that's just too many. So what do we do about that is the next question. And I guess we could liberate Belarus, but I don't terribly want to do that. But if we don't, then we're never going to take them over. It looks like the Soviets are taking over Bukhara, which is kind of weird and not really too important to us. We could attack the Portuguese. They are in the sphere of the French, but I guess that doesn't matter, but they like us, so that does. So we'll just lower their relations with us a little, and then we'll go after their colonies somewhat, just to clean up the borders of our colonial African possessions. And yeah, that'll be that. Kind of stuttered there. Yeah. Yeah, we're really almost at the end, honestly. I'm not sure how much longer the final episode will be. Probably not all that long, all things considered. Most everything we set out to do, we've done. I'm actually very happy with how that worked. We fought a major war against all the European powers. We didn't topple all their governments permanently. So that's a little sad, but we did do most everything else that we had hoped to do. We've annexed Sokoto. Maybe we'll get some jingoism and things. Maybe we won't. That all remains to be seen as time progresses. Intervene immediately into some things. Push forward in Africa. Alright. So what else needs done? Oh, limited access roads we probably should have got a while ago. So we're not going to get all the techs in the world. That's apparent at this point. Apparent. My word of the day. Oh, cool, jingoism. Alright, cool. Let's see. So, 7% on the way to our actual war goal. Oh, we forgot to justify against Portugal. We have enough time, though. So we'll just go after their colonies, Portuguese Zanzibar and things like that. Get some place in the sun. Alright, so what do we want? West Sahara we'll start with. Acquire state. Let's see if we can't find that. Come on, West Sahara, only 11 war score. So we can just add war goals until we run out of ability to add war goals. And then eventually we'll have to actually invade France. Alright, 21 war score. Next up is Timbuktu. Acquire state. Timbuktu. And then I guess French Hausaland, and then Dahomey. And we can just leave that portion. We might just leave Dahomey and go after places in their southern Africa portion. But we do want French Hausaland. That'll make the borders decent, I suppose. 35. Acquire state. Where are we looking for? Oh, right, it's a colony. Oh, it's only 2 war score. Alright, that's easy enough. Alright, and I guess we'll move these troops up to the Mediterranean coast. From there we can actually invade France proper, the metropole, as the French used to say, and maybe still do, I don't really know. Tons of extra jingoism, so we can really just take this to the logical conclusion. Liberal and anarcho-liberals have won. Can we replace them? We can. Go back to being fascist. And we'll wait a few months till another election. Alright, 38 war score. So let's see, Boss Congo. Alright, so we can really do a lot of damage to the French colonial empire, at least in Africa. Which is really where we care about it. So, yeah, go us. Go ahead and give our people some excellent safety restrictions or what have you. There we go, we have 20 extra transports, so we'll just start carrying all of our armies across. And we'll bring some of these dudes over. And at this rate, we're almost at an hour, and we've basically run out of action. Other than just the slow destruction of the French Empire. So let's see, 46, acquire state, East Angola. So this will actually be a pretty rapid destruction of the French Empire. French South Angola will be next, followed by Hiroaland, and that'll clean all of that up. Soviet Union did status quo with Japan. I wonder... oh, because Japan defended Bukhara. Whoops. Soviets have 24 brigades, haven't fallen to rebellion. How terrible. Alright, the French are having a rebellion, which is exactly what we want. It's communists, which are not exactly what we want. Now we'll go to start dropping troops off. We're at an hour. Let's at least add these war goals. 63% all the way to East Angola. So next up is French South Angola. Oh wait, was that actually... Oh, it is. Cool. It is a colony. Alright, and then one more, and that'll be the entire French colonial empire on land in the south. They will still have this little pocket, but I don't really mind them having that. Alright, looks like the French do still have an army. So we'll just go ahead and land and hope that it doesn't attack us until we're in a decent position. Now let's see. Hiroro land. Oh, and we don't have enough jingoism. So we will hold an election. And we're almost done justifying against Portugal, so we probably should have kept some of our armies in position. Although we do have more than enough, I assume. Portugal has 41 brigades, which isn't a pushover amount, especially if we don't prepare well enough to deal with them. Alright, so we'll declare war against the Portuguese. The first place we'll go after will probably just be... I guess we'll go after Portuguese North Angola. And hopefully as this election goes through, we'll be able to add more war goals to it. We'll try to take over Portuguese South Angola and then push them out of this portion as well. At least just so they don't have the coastline to our colonies inland. And let's see, what else can we do? Oh, we still can't justify against the Persians. We were a little too quick on the draw with that one. Or against really anyone else. I guess we could justify and liberate the Belarusians, though I don't really feel like it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll just not justify a war. We have truce with Spain for a little while longer, so we can't really go after them either. Yeah, maybe we don't need to be in a constant state of war any more than we already are. We can't really attack Madagascar without bringing the United States into it. I think we may be basically sated. What a concept. I mean, there are a small amount of Dutch people there. It doesn't really matter. None of our puppets have gotten their independence. Don't really want to attack anyone else. Yeah, we've basically taken almost everything that we need, and we've held on to everything that we've had. We're one war, if the Soviets ever fall, away from having our name just spread across all of our portions of the world. Although, honestly, the borders would look kind of sloppy like that, so I'm not too worried, and we probably won't be able to do it anyway, just because it doesn't seem like they're about to have some sort of revolution. Although, who knows, we may be surprised. At this point, we just have to justify against Persia. Our Soviet peace ends too late. We won't actually be able to attack them at all. We might be able to attack the British, and we'll just have to push them out of Tlemcen. And that'll be everything that we're able to accomplish against them, but that's all we need to accomplish. So yeah, Persia, Tlemcen, maybe go beat up the Austrians or the Italians a little bit more. Other than that, I think we're in a great spot for the end of history, which, well, I guess will come next episode, because there's not really all that much holding us up at this point. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's been a really interesting journey. Honestly, I hoped that we would get to a point like this, but I didn't really see the path to it until everything just fell in line. So, yeah. Thanks again. Last episode is the next episode, and then a time lapse. Almost certainly, unless something crazy happens. Have a great day.